Vayol Moshe, starting Be'ez Hashem Siman Lamed Vav, and the subject is that the shvua that was made on the Umas Ha'olam is hard to understand how they could have a shvua that was because when were they ever present in one place? Who made them take this oath? And if you say it's Matan Torah, the Umas weren't by Matan Torah. By the Yidden, there was a teretz that the Rebbe brought in Siman Lamed Dalet that they were by Matan Torah, and the shvuas were given then because all the Divrei Nevi'im were given then. But the Umas Ha'olam, we don't have that teretz. And besides that, for the Jewish people, it's also schwer to learn that they got the shvua at Matan Torah because only the neshama was there, not the guf. So these are the questions that we're dealing with. In Siman Lamed Hey, the Akedah was brought down. The Akedah says that the same question applies to the shvuas of Matan Torah. You know, the Gemara says, Mushpa v'oimen mehar Sinai. When a person swears to do something that the Torah already says to do, it's not chal because he's just swearing on something that's already sworn at Har Sinai. So the question is, how does this oath at Har Sinai take effect when we're all Yidden in Har Sinai? So and even though the neshamas were there, that doesn't help because the guf wasn't there. So the Akedah says that the shvua there is not really a shvua. It's more like Hashem promised to protect us, but only with a t'nai. If we don't keep the t'nai, we don't keep the conditions, then Hashem won't protect us. So that's the idea of the shvua from Har Sinai. It's not really a shvua, but it's worse than a shvua. The shvua is a lav in the Torah. It's one of the negative commandments. That's it. But this is much worse. It's like this is the whole conditions on which Hashem promised to protect the Jewish people. So if we don't keep the conditions, then He won't protect. Anyway, but what the Rebbe takes out from this Akedah is one thing: that a shvua doesn't have to mean a shvua. Sometimes the word shvua is used like mushpa ve'oimim mehar Sinai, and really it's not a shvua. Really, it's just a figure of speech. It really means that you have to do it. It's very strong obligation. Okay, so let's see inside. According to this Akedah, it's not difficult. That the Chazal say regarding the oath of Galus, that the shvua could apply even to the Goyim. They weren't around at the time the shvua was made. Because according to the Akedah's pshat, even by the Torah shvua, the shvua that was made on all the laws of the Torah, all the neshamas were present in Har Sinai, still the shvua is not really effective because the guf wasn't there. But Tzarech Loimar, and according to this, he's saying that now, if didn't help to bring the neshamas there, then why did Hashem bring the neshamas to Har Sinai? He says, so you have to say, that Hashem did bring the neshamas by Har Sinai. It wasn't in order to make the shvua take effect. That wouldn't help. It had some effect on them that they were in Har Sinai. At this amazing event, this awesome event in Jewish history. Maybe there are other reasons why Hashem did it that we don't know, but it's not for the oath. That's what he's coming out. The Lashon HaShvua, and the fact that Chazal used the word oath to describe the Torah, Mushpa v'oimim mehar Sinai, hu rak derech mashal. It's only a figure of speech, the Chomer Uinyan, to show how strong it is, because really it has a bigger obligation, a bigger stringency that's more than just an oath. Even the Shlah who argues on the Akedah still agrees that you could say such a thing, that a shvua doesn't really mean a shvua. He agrees to that idea. Just, he has a problem with it when it comes to the Torah shvua. He doesn't like it there because he says, Shekasav al zeh shebe'emes dvarav mistukim. He says, be'emes, the words of the Akedah are very sweet. Ela shebishvil sheyesh lezeh stira me'ashas, because there's a problem with it. There's a contradiction. There's a kasha on it from a certain Gemara that he brought that says that Moshe said to the Yidden, "I'm not being mashpia you on your das, but on my das." So it sounds like it's going with all the halachas of shvuos. It's not just going with a figure of speech. So that was his problem with the Akedah. V'gam kasha mechaluke oinshim. Also, he had a kasha from the fact that there are different oinshim. He said, if the whole Indian of keeping the Torah is only because Hashem promised on condition to protect the Yidden, and if we don't keep the condition, then He's not going to protect us. Then why is there an oynish for this and an oynish for that? Why are the oynishim different? It should all be one thing. That was his problem. Not to be dwarf. That's why the Shloh argued on the Akedah. But Be'etzem, he's willing to accept this idea that there could be an oath that it's not really an oath. V'imkein b'shuas hagolus. So we could take the Akedah's words and apply it to the Shvuah of Golus. Because he said, b'shuas hagolus she'ein sham kushas elu. We don't have those kashas there. Shapir ef shelafarish kisfaras bala Akedah. There we could learn like the Akedah. V'loi kal shemidi. So we could learn basically saying that the Shvuah of the Umas Ha'olam, for example, that they weren't present by the Shvuah, so when did they take any oath? So the answer is in the Chanami, it's not an oath, it's something worse than an oath. It's something that, let's say, the Goyim, to go and persecute the Yidden too much, that's an Aveira by itself. You don't need to have a Shvuah for that. But even if you're going to say that somehow the Goyim took an oath at Har Sinai, but Mitzrayim was one of the cases when the Goyim transgressed their oath, right? Yeah. And that happened before Matan Torah. The Mitzrayim got punished with very severe punishments. Because they put the Jewish babies in the Taich, so in the Nile River, so they got drowned in the Yam Suf. Ukvar Kosvu was there Harambam Berayvet Zal, Shakol Haya Bedin Bishpat. The Rambam and the Ravid is in Perek Hivav, the Hilchos Tshuva, where the Rambam talks about Bechira, and he says that it's mashma that the Mitzrayim didn't have Bechira because Paro was forced. But besides that, the Rambam says that it was predicted. The whole Mitzrayim, the whole Galus Mitzrayim was predicted to Avraham Avinu. So even beyond the fact that Hashem hardened Paro, but they had to do it because Hashem already predicted it. That's the Rambam's kash over there. So the Rambam says, yeah, but they didn't have to do it. Someone else could have done it. Hashem didn't say Mitzrayim. He said the Eretz Lo Elohem. Yeah, and the Ravid argues on that. The Ravid says a different shot that they went overboard. Hashem said do a little bit of slavery, and they went overboard, and they killed them. And
but the Ravid was strongly criticized on what he said. The Ravid was very much unaccepted in this case by many Rishonim Achronim.
Anyway, so he says the Rambam and the Ravid say they both agree that the Mitzrayim were punished for what they did. So the question is, why were they punished? They didn't get a shvuah yet. Obviously, it has nothing to do with the shvuah. He says, okay. There's going to be, when Mashiach comes, Hashem's going to punish all the Goyim for what they did to the Yidden over the years. Yeah. And Al Kol Mashat Siru as Yisrael, all that they tortured the Jewish people, Beguf V'Nefesh, V'Achzoriyas Noirah, all the cruelty that they did. Tagia Aleim Hanakama. They're going to get punished. They're going to get punished more than just for being over on a shvuah. It's not just going to, Hashem's not just going to come down and say, oh, you transgressed an oath, so you get malchus.
Let me just stress
it's much more than that. Okay, right? That the only reason why the Chazal called the shvuah is because they want to show how strong it is. Kisvaras Bala Akedah. Just like the Akedah said Lagabi the Torah. Later on I'm going to give another hesber of why the Gemara says the Lashon Shvuah. Lama Niska B'chai Gam the Lashon Shvuah. Yeah? Efsher Lahavin Gam Das Rambam Tal. Shekos Bal Shvuah Segali is Afli Yisrael Derech Mashal. That not only for the Goyim this Shvuah is only a mashal, it's only a figure of speech. For the Yidden it's also like that. So he says when the Rambam says Derech Mashal, remember the Rambam Yigeres Teiman? He said that the Shlomo Melech saw that the Jews were going to stumble in this, and they were going to have tzaras because of this. So he was mashpia them derech mashal. So the Rebbe asked in Siman Lamed Gimel, the end of Siman Lamed Gimel, he asked, "What's this idea of derech mashal?" So we said maybe because Shir Shirim is a mashal. So the Rebbe is learning like this: derech mashal the kivim shaloi nisgala oisa shvuah b'Sinai. Since it really wasn't revealed at Sinai, ela acher kach al yidei Shlomo Melech alav v'shalom. It was only revealed by Shlomo. The Gam Yeh Shama Shvuah L'Umas Ha'olam, and you see that the shvuah, one of the shvuahs goes on the nation, so obviously it's not from Har Sinai. L'chein Soiver. Therefore, the Rambam holds she'eino shvuah al pi halacha. It's not a shvua. It's not really a shvua. Mitamim on his karim leil, like we said before, it's not chal on the people that weren't born yet. Ela nichtav lashon shvua. It's just written as a shvua derech mashal. So he says bishvil shehu inyan chomer me'oid. It's a very strong idea. Gam mibal shvua, even without it being an oath. Ukedei lahavin. Now, but the question is like this: the Akedah said legabe matan Torah, this mashal with a king that protects somebody and with a condition. But he's not going to say that's pshat in this Galus shvua. That's what the Avnei Nezer really said. The Avnei Nezer really said the shvua of Galus is that Hashem protects us in Galus, and we're connected. The neshama and the goof is connected to Hashem only on condition that we fulfill these oaths. But he's not saying that now. He's saying that we're going to take the idea from the Akedah that the shvua is not literal, but we're not going to say the same pshat that he says by the shvuas of Torah. So what is?
Right?
It's gonna be different. It's gonna be we have to explain what's wrong with the oath. By the Goyim we explained it that in the Sheva Mitzvah Noach, killing, hitting, all the tortures they did, murder, all those things that they did are usher anyway. So they don't, But by the Yidden, what did the Yidden have to do? They're not allowed. The Yidden are not allowed to go up there to Israel, even if they're not going to hit anybody, kill anybody. They're still not allowed to. So where is that? Oster, besides with an oath. And if we say the oath's not literal, what's oster about it? That's what he's asking. He says, what exactly is this terrible avera of going up there to Israel and forcing the end? That without an oath it would be oster. Why did Chazal say this in the language of an oath if it's not really a literal oath that works halachically? So in order to get to the explanation of this, why this is so wrong, he's going to say that it's kfira in the idea of galus. So in order to explain that, we have to explain what galus is about and what Mashiach is about and what has to happen before Mashiach comes. So therefore, I'm going to start out to explain the Rambam Shita and the Shita of other Rishonim, the Simone Agula, in the criteria for how we can tell when the Gula is going to come and how it's not going to come. And we're going to see in the coming Simonim, Ubiyas HaMashiach, the criteria to identify Mashiach. Asher lozeh kol ma'avoyenu, tikvas nafsheinu. This is what we're hoping for all the years. Uvozeh yispor oid tam lama ein zeh shvua al pi halacha. And when I get to the end of this, we'll understand another reason why this is not a literal oath. Okay?